Hi guys, I hope that you're really well. So, one of my most popular videos is a video called about finding the difference between l'imparfait and le passé composé. And there's an element within that which always causes problems, which is when you talk about the mental state. The mental state. So this is with mental verbs. So like I thought, I knew, you know, I had, I suppose, I believed, just various things. I was afraid, all of a sudden I was afraid. And we need to basically make sure that you understand. So let's just quickly go back to going over the basics of the choice between l'imparfait and le passé composé. There are ways of doing this where you kind of learn and go, right, well, if I'm hearing used to, it's going to be this. If I'm hearing was, it's predominantly going to be this. You know, but let's be really clear. If you are talking about a verb and you need to know how to formulate these verb tenses already, this is not a class about formulating them. It's just about finding the difference. So just repeat with me. If a verb is in the passé composé, that's the one with have or be in the middle, it is going to be a finished, a complete action or change. A finished, complete action or change. A finished, complete action or change. Lions and tigers and bears. A finished, complete action or change. So anything which deviates away from that will not be a finished, complete action or change. Let's talk about that. So for example, if you use was and an ing, so I was speaking with my friend Phil, I was speaking with my friend Simon. This is what confuses you guys, because you go, what do you mean finished, Luke? They're both in the past. If I said yesterday I was speaking with my friend Phil, yesterday evening I was speaking with my friend Simon, your brain goes, but they're both finished. That was yesterday. But what we mean is that it's dead and you've let it lie. You're not bringing it back to life to tell me about it. So if you say, when I was speaking to my friend Phil, when that was going on, I've made it alive again. I've taken us to it. I brought it back to life. Do you understand? So that would not be in the passé composé. That would be in l'imparfait. That would be in the imperfect. You might go, fine, I'm going to train my brain that if I use was and an ing, fine. But basically, it's because it's not a single finished action in the past. That's the deal. So if we were on about a description, it was raining. The weather was terrible. Why do descriptions tend to be in the imperfect? Because they are not a single finished action or change. You haven't got the moment it starts. You've just basically, this is the ongoing thing. So pleuvoir, to rain, il pleuvait. The weather was horrible. Il faisait mauvais, whatever. You know, there's not the change there. There's not the point at which it happens. There's not the point at which that is going to suddenly take over. And when that's the case, that is where you would need to use the imperfect tense. You would need to do that because it's not showing me the change, all right? So for example, if I said, it was snowing, il neigeait, you know, it started to snow, you're referring to the change starting, il a neigé. There was a problem, description, it was just what was going on. We're not referring to the start of that. Il y avait un problème. All of a sudden, there was a problem. So the change happening, we witnessed it happening. So this happened and then there was a problem. Il y a eu un problème. This will apply to mental verbs as well. So I'm afraid, present tense, j'ai peur. You have no idea how much at the moment of something. No idea. I was afraid when I realised how batshit crazy somebody was and the trouble they were causing me. J'avais peur. I'm not referring to, actually, pardon me what I said in English. Yes, so if it was, so generally, I was afraid, describing my emotions, j'avais peur. When I realised just how bloody dangerous this one individual was, the trouble that she's causing me and somebody very special, j'ai eu peur, I had the fear. It's referring to the moment that the change takes place. I knew last year, whatever, where babies came from, je savais, If it's when I saw this idiot's face, I knew what she'd been up to. J'ai su. It's referring to the moment that my knowledge started. If it's I thought, je pensais, yeah, je pensais, fine. But if it's all of a sudden, when I saw a photograph, I thought, j'ai pensé, oh, I should really go and see that movie, that film. If it's I wanted, mental verb, so, you know, last week, I wanted to try this restaurant, je voulais. If it's when I read the online, you know, review, at that point I wanted, j'ai voulu. So again, even though it's a mental verb, it's often hard to think of it as an action taking place, but it's a change in the brain and you're referring to the moment that that happens. So let's tell a story. So this morning, I woke up. Je me suis réveillé. 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's got the got the auxiliary, it's got the reflexive, sorry. Because it's the moment I woke up. A change takes place. I was asleep, I woke up. Je me suis réveillé, okay? If it were when I was at college, so more than one time, but nondescript, I used to wake up earlier, which is the truth, that would not be a single finished action or change. So that would be je me réveillais. You know? So quand j'étais à l'école de danse, je me réveillais plus tôt. Okay? If it were I woke up early 3 times last week, and you might go, ha ha, Lukey Lou, that is not one single time or change. No, but it is, because you're saying I woke up 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. If you use the specificity of times, yeah, if you use the specificity of times, it's going to be the passé composé, because you're saying I woke up early on this time, this time, and this time specifically. If you're not saying what, why, when, how many times, so I ate, I drank coffee with Phil last year more than 1 time. You know, je buvais du café, imperfect, all right? I drank coffee 1 time in this lovely place by Marylebone. J'ai bu du café, you know, whatever. It would be 1, j'ai bu. It would be the passé composé, all right? Let's carry on telling our story. So, I open the window, j'ai ouvert la fenêtre, there's my action, it starts. I realized, that it was a nice day. So, je me suis rendu compte, action, with an auxiliary, that it was a nice day, qu'il faisait beau. I ate something, j'ai mangé quelque chose, I had my breakfast, j'ai pris mon petit déjeuner. If it's when I was a teenager, I had my breakfast regularly at my grandmother's house. That is in the past. Even though in English you say I had, you are not referring to a single change, you are referring to more than one, without the specificity of how many times. So that would be j'ai pris, sorry, that would be je prenais mon petit déjeuner chez ma grand-mère, chez mamie, okay? If it were then, I started to look at whatever, Instagram, there's the action of it starting, j'ai commencé à regarder whatever, Instagram. I saw a video for somebody's class, alors j'ai vu une vidéo pour le cours de quelqu'un, lovely, my friend Inga, and I wanted to do her class. J'ai voulu faire son cours, because even though it's mental wanting, and even though it's in the past, you're showing me the moment that it's starting. J'ai voulu faire son cours. A second, I'll just go up here. And it's a bit noisy, bless them. If it were, I knew yesterday, generally, I'm not saying the point at which it started, that there was going to be a problem today, you know, I knew somebody would be an idiot. Je savais, je le savais. If it were when I read this dark message, I knew somebody was going to be an idiot today. There's the moment at which it was taking place. J'ai su. So when I read, quand j'ai lu, there's the moment I read it. J'ai su, I knew, whatever. Is this helping, Fatima? when I saw the photograph, I thought, ooh, I want to buy one of those flowers. I want to buy one of those plants. So when I saw quand j'ai vu, I thought j'ai pensé, the action, because that's the moment that the thinking was happening. You know, I thought when I was younger that whatever, life would be whatever, whatever. There's not a moment in this sentence where I'm telling you about the start of the action. So therefore, je pensais, the imperfect. Yeah? So is this making sense? Okay? So to recap, if you are talking about an action that you are bringing back to life, so I was talking to Simon, whatever, you're going to be in the imperfect. Je parlais, because it's not done. You're presenting your little character. Look, 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 what was Lukey doing? Lukey was very stylishly dressed with, you know, fabulous pair of legs in tight jeans, and he was talking to Simon. So I was talking to Simon. Picture your character. Je parlais. Well, a formerly fabulous pair of legs, now a Cipro ruined pair of legs. So je parlais à Simon. All right. If it's when I was talking to Simon, he said all of a sudden there his action, there's him making a change. Il disait. Okay, il disait, because sorry, il a dit, because it's the action taking place. All of a sudden he said. Simon said something and I say, oh yeah, my mom said that when I was younger, as in repeatedly, my mom said that when I was younger. Ma mère le disait, she used to say it, she said it more than one time, yeah? My mum said it 3 times, even though it's more than one time, it's a specificity of numbers. So ma mère l'a dit, or me l'a dit, you said it to me, 3 fois. All right? If this doesn't clear this up, Fatima, I don't know what else I can do, but you don't need visuals. Yep, so if it is a single finished action or change that you are referring to, you want the passé composé. If you are referring to the moment that it happens in your head, even if that's a mental change, that is the tense that you want. If you are going to go into a imperfect, it will be because for whatever reason it deviates from that fact. All right, let me know if this is any good, Fatima.